I didn't grow up talking about stocks, bonds, investing, saving, and what we can do about that. Hi, my name is Anastasia. I am starting my YouTube channel when I'm 41. I am single mom of two, work in IT. Before I start on the topic about how I invest as single mom, I would like to give you a little bit perspective of my background. I'm originally from overseas. I've been born and raised in Russia. When I was 24, I decided to move to Spain for my second education in hospitality management. For my internship, I moved to States for 1 year as a J1 student. Here I met my ex-husband at this time, and I've been living in States for about 13 years. So this is a second home. And when I was first time going through, not the application, but all paperwork for work, there were some interesting words like retirement, investing, 401k, stocks, bonds, index funds. I was 25, 26 at the time maybe, had no clue what is that, didn't do my research, and I guess my first ever investment was for 401k. The minimum what company would put money into stock, what company put money by default. When I left the company, since I was going through status adjustment, there was too little money in there. The company cut me a check to get this money back. That was my first experience with investing. Throughout the life, I was educating myself and trying to learn more. And I came across this book by Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. You know what? I even don't remember what my thoughts were at that time when I read it first time ever, but I knew I didn't do anything about that. And the reason was, at that time I was married and my ex-husband was a breadwinner. And obviously, since he brought the majority of the money, his was the last pretty much say what we do with the money. Before I got kids, I didn't think a lot about retirement, saving, and I lived like almost majority of Americans. We left paycheck to paycheck. We spent everything we make, and when we had opportunity to make more money, we were upgrading our lifestyle or spending money on things. When my daughter was born, I started thinking about future. I guess weight of responsibility kicked in, and I was like, okay, this is great, we're making a good money, but there is nothing to show for the money. That's when I started having conversation with my significant other as far as let's save. I heard the answer that we don't have money to save. It's like nothing left. We can't afford to save. And like, look, but what if we're gonna do like $10, $20, 10%? Will we see this money? At that time, $10 from paycheck, it was just, we wouldn't see this money. We started with $10 from paycheck. It would go to savings account. At the end of the month, I came to him and like, hey, did we see this money going out? Were we short on any spending? Like, no, we were not. Then I bumped it to 10% from paycheck, and I think maybe to 20%. I'm not sure right now. That's how first we started actually saving, not even investing. With investing, I started doing research. I was changing the companies. And at some point, there was 401k again. and I started doing the research. My first investment for 01k at work, I was not even investing enough to have much put into my account. I was having partial much put, not full of much. Anyway, where was I? For 01k, I started doing research, I started learning, reading, and then I realized, okay, since my money is kind of like a little droplets into the entire pool of money, I will try to invest more and see where it goes. Sure enough, I start building my 401k, doing more research, and then I came to my significant other and started educating him about what 401k is, how this money can be used, and this and that. And that when he started investing. At that time, investing was only like targeted fund, I would say. There were nothing elaborate, nothing like that. And during my life, this subject was interest of me. I was doing more research, I was reading more books, and you know how social media and internet is, the more you search something, the more you get information about that subject. So the more I was searching on Facebook about all these things, the more things I got thrown at me. Eventually, I heard about a fire movement. I've heard about budgeting, about frugal lifestyle, and yeah, and then I start hearing like I knew for 01k, Roth IRA, brokerage account, these stocks, bonds, and at first my head was spinning. Then as I said, I found out about fire movement and I started digging deep into that subject because I was curious how people do that, what and how. And I came across this book, Simple Path to Wealth. This is the old one. He just redid the book and he put 2025 edition in. And if you're new to investment at all, get this book and try reading and read through that, or get audiobook. However you consume books, however you consume information, it doesn't matter. What matters is it is very simple language, it's easy to understand. The author, pretty much J.J. Collins, he tried to get his daughter to invest in, and you know how parents sometimes are, we push information to our kids because we know better, we live the life, we've been there, we've done that, we know better, that's it. And some kids, they don't listen. They like pushing back. That was the situation with his daughter, I guess. And he started writing letters to her and eventually put them in the book. The book goes through pretty much everything. What to invest, how to invest, and myth about investing. And here I want to talk about why I'm investing into retirement, why I'm investing overall. I invest in 401k, I invest in Roth IRA, and I have brokerage accounts. They all different accounts which serve different purpose. I don't want to go into details. If you guys if this information interesting for you guys, let me know in the comments and I'll create a video about going over the differences in accounts. But what I'm gonna say right now is why I personally invest in. I personally invest because I understand that at some point my working life will be over and I would need money. I will need money to be able to sustain and somehow live rest of my life. I don't know yet when it's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna get early retirement, if I'm gonna go all in until 75 or whatever it is, I would like to have options and flexibility. I know how much my social security gonna be depending on where I decide to start drawing it. Is it 60, 61, 70? And right now, when I do my numbers of investing, I don't even count my social security into that. It's gonna be like nice bonus in my personal case. I don't want to be burdened for my kids. I don't want my kids to take care of me when I'm older. And by taking care of me, I mean paying my day expenses, day in and day out. I would like them to have their own life and spend time with me when they want to and not that they need to. I don't want them to feel obligated to help me out. And yeah, that's pretty much why I'm investing. As far as college for my kids, it's also taken care of by another thing, which I can talk about that as well. Another thing, I got my kids when I was older, so I'm gonna be in my early 50s when my kids graduated high school. And yes, I wanna be sure that I do have options and flexibility. You know what, even though I am building that for the future, for my future self, and I'm thinking like 20, 25, 30 years down the road, it's really nice to have this flexibility right now, because I understand if something doesn't work with my job, it doesn't something, or I'm like short in money, I do have pool of money where I can draw from in bad situation. Not even emergency, because that I have my emergency fund separate. But if something like that happens and I'm per se between work more than 3 months, I do have options. One more thing I would like to talk about is myth of investing. A lot of people think that, oh, you gotta have a lot of money to start investing. Not necessarily. When you open an account, they don't ask you to put any minimum in there. You can put there $1. The situation is you most likely won't be able to buy anything for $1. However, depending on where you invest to, some stocks or ETFs you can buy partially, some you cannot. However, if you decide to start with $10 a paycheck or $10 a month or whatever your number is, you can start open account. Let's say we decide to open a brokerage account, and we decide to put $10 for paycheck in the brokerage account. So what you can do, you can put $10 every paycheck and decide where you want to invest money within brokerage account. And whenever you have sufficient amount of money, you can invest. Another usual myth that you need to know what to invest, and you need to time the market, meaning you need to know when the best time to invest. And that's a huge misconception of investing, because when you invest into your retirement, when you thinking of money working for you 10, 20, 25, 30 years, it doesn't matter. Market goes through ups and downs, and whatever you invest in, the amount, it goes through ups and downs, and that's normal. However, what will be important for you later down the road to understand when it's time to start drawing your money and get access to your money, where the market is. Is it up? Is it down? But that's completely different story. It's gonna be the situation we're talking about might be in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, depending when you started, what age you are currently, and what age you're thinking of retirement. For some people, it just can be opportunity to even retire. Another misconception what I can think about, that I'm too old to retire. Heck no, I'm 41 and I have my ups and downs. My kids are like 11 and 7. I'm in this mess when I make money, I need to pay my mortgage, I need to pay my bills, I need to pay for kids, for this, for that. And some month right now, I don't invest at all. Some month I do invest. And I was really hard on myself, putting pressure that, hey, I need to invest. But then I realized sometimes priority changing. And right now, at my new work, I am getting set up with new 401k, and I put 5% right now to get invested in the not even targeted fund. I'm gonna invest in kind of ESP 500 equivalent. And we can talk about those later as well, as far as what is that, how they work. Let's just recap. For instance, you would like to open a brokerage account. You go to Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, whoever. You open brokerage account. It's pretty much opening like a bank account, same thing. There are options you can set up. You can set up direct deposit in there. You can set up you can automate your withdrawal, and it's going to be even easier for you. You don't need to do anything. It's kind of set it and forget it. And then you can, within the account, you can also automate where you invest. If you invest in the same ETF, like in my case, majority of things I invest in like ESP 500 equivalent. What is that? It's 500 biggest American companies in American economy. So if there's collapses, meaning like all economy like goes down the shitters, pardon my French, it means that all economy is in a bad shape. And that's pretty much it. So you got your account in brokerage account, you set up your withdrawal from paycheck, money goes in, then money got invested, and that's it. You don't need to overthink it, like, oh, how much this cost, how much that cost. Nope, just. And what I've been doing, it took me a lot of time. I've been doing a lot of research, and I stuck in paralysis analysis. I've been overthinking. I was scared to do last step. And last step was start investing. I've had my 401ks, but everything else, I was scared. Back in 2023, actually, when I opened my first Roth IRA, when I opened my first brokerage account, and when I started investing. From that moment on, what I've been doing, I've been getting my snapshot of my investing every month. Every first of the month, what I do, I go to each account that I have a spreadsheet where I where I have like positions, like, is it checking account, is it savings account, is it 401k, is it Roth, is it this, is it that. And what I do, I just get snapshot how much money I have in there, and I just put it and do my calculation, total calculation. And I've been seeing how my money been growing consistently, and that helps me understand and realize that I made the right decision. And another thing, what it helps me, when all those media and all those people say that, oh, market is down, market is this, market is that, I just keep myself out there. I don't engage. I don't go and verify my account. I just know that it is growing consistently, and it's been growing consistently. And even though right now it's going to be deep, after every valley it's a peak. It's going to be another peak. And by the way, if you guys didn't know about that, There were a lot of talk that 2020, when COVID was, the market crashed significantly. And if you check the numbers, the market not only came back, but grew since that. So, where I was going was all this talk about my experience, about what I've been through a little bit. I think I really would love to hope that if you were the one who was thinking about start investing, take this video as a sign that you need to start. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I will respond. And if you guys want me to give kind of tutorial how to open account, how to set up a direct deposit, or what to invest to, please let me know. This is again my first video. I have this desire to share, and I know I do have a lot of information to share, but sometimes I am in the situation that I already know that, and it's difficult for me to understand what information can be valuable. So I hope you did find the value in this video. And again, please let me know if you have any questions or you want to hear something more about investing.